Man, oh man, it's that time again. I'm feeling great. Tonight's show is going to be absolutely fabulous. Thank you for coming back. Season 3, episode 310. We just moving on down with your guy, the one and only Coach Tony, and this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. And tonight's show is going to be an extra special one for me because I have got not one, not two, not three or four, but I got 5 of my magnificent 5 people around me who have been around me for quite some time. So we are going to have some fun tonight. We'll have some laughs and do some big things, and I cannot wait. But before I bring these guys out to you and tell you who they are, Val, you know what to do. Drop it.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your main man, the one and only Coach Tony. A couple of things as we get started. I need to make sure that you do a few things for me. 1, make sure you like the show. 2, make sure you share with other friends, then make sure they share it. But more importantly, make sure that you subscribe to the show. We're one of the fastest sports podcasts in the country, and we're growing like weeds. You know how that goes. You know, we get a little water on weeds. It grows quickly. You got to cut the grass all the time. But listen, tonight, coming to you all the way in my back door, the wonderful Nashville, Tennessee, by way of St. Cecilia Academy High School, by which I happen to be the head coach there of a fabulous basketball program. And we are making noise in the future. We've already made some noise in the past. But tonight, we're going to talk to 5 of my wonderful ball players, which I call them the Magnificent 5. And they're going to talk a little bit about what it is to be a ball player, a scholar, a student athlete, and at the same time, prepare a career for college and thereafter. Let's bring to the show the one and only class of 2025, the St. Cecilia Scarabs. Coming to the show, let's bring out my girl, as I call her, CC's Pizza, CC Phillips. Welcome to the show. That's Dee Dee, but hey, CC.
Hi.
Oh my God. How are you doing? Hello. What's up, CC? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Also, welcome to the show. Coming in, my girl, Marla Kaczynski. Welcome to the show, Marla.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Yes, you're welcome. Next, coming to the show, who already popped up already, my girl, Dee Dee. I'm a KG. Welcome to the show, Dee Dee.
Hey.
Mute you guys' phones, so interesting. And my girl, in the middle, as they say, racking up everything except the moon, Mia Galassini. Welcome to the show, Mia. And swinging for the fences, my girl, Dalton Vaughn. Dalton, welcome to the show. Man, it is absolutely wonderful. It is so great. So we started this brand new thing called Spirit Week. And Val and I were talking about doing something kind of phenomenal. And we're trying to figure out how to make things work. And at first I thought about having on someone that CC knows on the show with Father Ryan. I'm like, boo. Let's bring on the wonderful people, the people I really love that's in my corner, and I see them all the time. This is my girls from St. Cecilia. So as I name you guys the Magnificent 5, it is absolutely wonderful that you guys are here tonight. Checking in. Bella, what's going on? Glad to have you on the show. Hey, Judy is already checking in tonight. Thank you very much. Man, we got everyone in. If you have any questions for the girls, make sure you post them so Val can put it in the tag line. We'll make sure we get them out. So let's get started here tonight. Let's start up top. By the way, make sure you guys mute those mics, and then the person I call will come out. That way we won't have the echo. But let's jump off to the top. Let's go, Marla. Let's start with you right out the top here. Growing up in Nashville, are you originally from the Nashville area?
No, I grew up in Pleasant View, Tennessee. So I've been driving to Nashville because I've been going to school in Nashville since I was like pre-K.
Okay, I gotcha. And Cece, what about you? Are you a Nashville person?
I am from Nashville, yes.
And Dee Dee, what about yourself?
I'm from LA, but I've lived in Nashville for most of my life.
Okay, LA, West Coast in the house. No wonder you trying to get back to the coast. I feel you. Okay. Mia, and yourself?
I'm from Nashville.
Okay. And then Dalton, bringing up the backside of it yourself.
I'm from Nashville as well.
Okay. Now, as we go, and anybody can raise their hand. Make sure again, mute the rest of those phones as we get ready to talk, and all that. So when you guys had an opportunity as you're growing up in Nashville, Dee Dee, obviously you were in LA, moved to the Nashville area, and all that. If someone want to take this question, what made you fall in love with the game of basketball? Want to raise your hand? Anyone want to start out? Mia, look like you raised your hand. Let's just jump in here real quick. What made you fall in love with the game of basketball, Mia?
I would say it just started with my parents really instilled the love of basketball into our family. They played when they were in high school, so just like right off the bat when I was in kindergarten, even when I was little, they had me like out shooting outside in the driveway, and then it was something kind of my whole family did together. So I saw my older sisters play when I was little, and so I knew something that it was our family did, and then I just kind of fell in love with it at a young age.
Oh, great. And I'm telling you, it's been passed down to Mary Eves. I think she's going to be dynamite for me. She's coming through. We're working off that ankle injury of hers, and I think she's going to be a phenomenal piece added to the program, which I'm excited about. Marla, you're the same way with kind of like with Mia. You kind of got that sibling in there, and I feel special with you. You know that because Mom and Dad's got to really love me. They give me one daughter, but to give me two, that at least let me know I was doing something right, man, and it was great. When did you fall in love with basketball?
Kind of like Mia said, just watching my older sisters play, and my dad started coaching me. So I think like seeing how much he loved it and like how much he taught me, like really helped me like want to keep improving and getting better. So kind of just that.
Oh, that's awesome. And then your sister played as well earlier. I should get you guys mixed up in practice. Call her you. It was hilarious. So that was funny. And Cece, funny story. So Cece comes up to me, practice starts this year. She's like, Coach, I'm a senior. I'm like, what do you mean? You're a sophomore. No, you had my name wrong all last year. So I thought that was the best. And I told Cece, we're going to make it up this year. So when did you have the opportunity, Cece, to fall in love with the game of basketball?
Well, I played two other sports, but I started playing basketball when I was really little, and I always liked it. It was just a fun time. So, yeah, probably when I was around like 8, 9.
Okay, I like it. And Dalton, it's amazing to get you to play because you're a golfer. And we're going to talk about that a little bit, but, golf and then basketball is like opposite end of the spectrum. I could get maybe track and field, maybe soccer, but what made you want to come off the golf course to then jump in and have an opportunity to run up a basketball court?
Well, I grew up playing basketball, so I love basketball. It's always been something that I've been a part of. And I play golf as well, but I need to have something that keeps me active during the winter, and I just love the competitive nature and being on a team. So it made a lot of sense to play basketball.
Okay. And then for some of you guys that don't know, excuse me, my twin towers here, Dee Dee and Mia, was excellent the last couple of years. That's the piece I'm going to miss because I'm not going to be able to get that back. But Dee Dee, you coming from LA and then you're coming into Nashville, and I know your background a little bit. Soccer is kind of huge. So when did the basketball, was that because that you got taller, or when did basketball come a sport with you?
My older sister played before me, and I would go to all of her games, so I would watch her play as well. And I was always like quite tall for my class. Like I was always like the tallest girl, so it just like physically made sense. And so I also started in the 3rd grade playing, and then kept on going from there.
Man, I absolutely love it. We got some more people checking in. Michael's checking in, said, what's going on? Turb is checking in, said, oh my God. Josh is checking in. Josh going to check in, CC, Hey, you're doing a good job if he's already checking in. You're down the right path already. This question is going out to Dalton. So a lot of people on the podcast listening tonight have no idea, but this young lady is a state champion golfer. I mean, you're talking about basketball, then into golf, and then you got your academics and all that. When you look at the two sports, how do you get an opportunity to balance the golf and balance the basketball, or, does one help the other one out?
I think it's definitely one helps the other one out. I think it's wonderful to have an outlet where after like a really busy day of school, you're able to go into the gym or onto the golf course and really be able to kind of relax there, even if it's not relaxing. I think that it's definitely a switch up. And so I think that really fuels once I have had that activity, it really helps me to buckle down and work on a lot of homework later. So I couldn't imagine myself not playing sports in my schedule because I wouldn't know what to do with my time. So it's just in my nature, I guess.
Right. And Marla, it's funny for you because you're playing basketball and then you go out on, which people don't know, on the diamond and start swinging a bat. And then you get this one below you in Mia to come out this year and all that. Tell us a little bit about the softball, having the opportunity that once you leave that winter sport, jumping into softball. How's that been?
It's been great. I've loved having Mia. I also got our other friend Maggie Holt to play, and I think they love it. I love it, and I don't know. I knew they'd love it too because it's not as intense as basketball, but I mean it's outside. It's fun, kind of laid back. It's way more laid back than basketball, but it's fun. So
I love watching you guys out there. And Mia, you got to tell me about it. So I asked her. She called me one day, Marla. She's like, "Oh, Coach T, I'm playing softball." I'm like, "Where?" It's like on the team. I'm like, "When?" So she's like, "Hey, it was just something to do." So I thought I did it. But the funny part about it, you end up being pretty good. Tell us about the first year as a senior at SCA. You decided to go out and, of all other sports, you picked softball because Marla convinced you to come. But how was it?
I would say, I just joined because of Marla. I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. But it was really fun and I wasn't the best at it. So I started off not very good, but throughout the season, I kind of learned some new skills. And I think it's kind of a lesson that at first you might not really be good at a certain sport, but if you put in the work, you can at least get to a level where you can play. So that was really rewarding.
Oh, that's good. And Cece Lynn up there. Cece, what other sport do you play?
I play lacrosse and soccer.
Oh my goodness. So you lacrosse and soccer. So a mix. So you play lacrosse and soccer, get hit all the time, but don't want to get hit on the basketball court. Explain that to me.
Well, soccer and lacrosse are definitely much more similar to each other than they are to basketball. So basketball it's a little more, it's harder for me because it's more sprints, but soccer and lacrosse, a little more long distance. And that's all. Also, falling on grass hurts less than falling on the floor.
Oh, that's good. My boy Jay Smith, Coach Smith, checking in, said, congratulations to all the young ladies this season. They're doing some fabulous things. I've seen Catherine Bond. She's checking in, said, hello, Coach Scarabs. And Dee Dee, I'm not sure. I know at one particular point as I got to school, you were running a little track. I don't know what you did in your senior year besides lay back and chill out. What did you do? Did you play anything this year besides basketball?
Some might not consider it a sport, but I did dance for the whole year as well.
Oh yeah,
But yeah.
trust me, I know that.
Yeah. But I ran track in the past. So
And,
yeah.
and for everybody, just don't let Dee Dee just make that, small. She not only did the dance, but I want to think that you were leading the actual dance class, right? You were instructing some other stuff.
Yeah, I was a choreographer and then I would teach the classes as well.
So tell us a little bit about it. Was it other kids from other schools or some of the younger middle school kids at SEA, or how did that come about in terms of dance? Did you have a love for music and dancing?
Yeah, I've been dancing like for many years now, since around third grade, I believe. And so when I came to St. Cecilia, we have like the SCA Dance Company, which is like comprised of this year the junior high and the high school. So I got to choreograph a piece and then we perform it in a show in the spring. But St. Cecilia also has like a dance academy, which is with younger girls. So some girls will volunteer and teach classes for them as well.
Man, yes, you see, I'm talking to a talented group. That's why I called them my Magnificent Five. Val, we got to pay some bills here at the end of the first quarter. We'll be right back for quarter two. This is your main man, one and only Coach Tony, and this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. We'll be right back. Hey, it's your main man, right back at you, coming live here from the Rise Studios, and it's your guy talking about what? Pull Up Podcast Show. What is the Pull Up Podcast Show? It's a brand new podcast hitting your airways nationwide, talking everything on sports, from baseball, basketball, hockey, and then I tell you, we're gonna have a lot of fun. So make sure if you want your questions answered, you want to have fun talking a lot of sports, make sure you pull up on me, because it's the Pull Up Podcast Show.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up.
Also, for those that want to learn a little bit more about this right here, oh yeah, that right there, that's the Rise, NIL, talking name, image, and likeness. Those having opportunities to get paid, you want to tune in to it.
Sports show, let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up.
Man, welcome back to the second quarter of the Pull Up Podcast Show with the Magnificent Five, hanging out with the one and only Coach Tony. And we got Jesse checking in, saying, yes, how you doing, Dee Dee? Jesse checking in, saying, whoa, what's up, Dee Dee? Checking in on you. Stacy's checking in from school as well, saying, also, Dalton being a valedictorian. I forgot to mention that, but we're going to get into that, talk a little bit about that. Let's jump into the brand. As you can see, I got the brand. For those that don't know, St. Cecilia Academy. So let's talk about the brand. This is important in this quarter because I think it helps the young incoming athletes learn how to balance school and sports. And I really want you guys to dig in. I don't know who want to raise your hand, want to take it, but if you guys had an opportunity to give advice to some of my incoming freshmen, or better than that, you guys already got an opportunity to play with the freshmen and the sophomores, and boss them around, especially Dalton and Mia. The good thing about it is, what kind of advice could you give them coming up in the program, especially as the program is now starting to change for a more positive outlook? Anybody want to take that off first? Let's go, Dalton. Jump in here.
Yeah, I think that we have a really great program that has been started, especially this year. And I think that there's been a really positive culture and energy around basketball, especially as we are changing divisions next year. So I think that's going to be a really great opportunity for people to really excel in the sport and also to challenge themselves and others. So I think that it's going to be very exciting next few years for the Scarab basketball team. And I'm excited to see everything that everyone does. And yeah, they're going to be great.
That's good. Cece, jump in here. What do you got to tell them?
Yeah, I think it'll be really great to have like a change of scenery and like our division, the teams we play. And I think it'll just be really good for people to like maybe get more playing time and get some more wins. And I also think it was really good to have like a younger team this year so we could teach them what kind of St. Cecilia athletics are like. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. And Miss Sandra Holmes checking in, said, "Go Scares, go." And Dee Dee, what's your thought process behind that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what everyone else has been saying. I think with the new division change, there will be a lot of opportunities for growth, especially since we have a younger team and we got to play with them this year. And I think Coach Tony has done a great job of creating a positive like connotation around SCA basketball, especially with our motto "No Let Down" the entire year. It was very uplifting, and he just created a lot of opportunities for people to come in and genuinely enjoy the sport, which we're all super grateful for. So we really appreciate that.
Oh man, that's awesome. And Mia, what's your thoughts?
I think the division change is going to be good for just like really making sure the basketball culture is instilled at St. Cecilia and just making sure that everyone on the team is really ride or die for the program and just like has a commitment to the program. So I think it's kind of like a refresh year for just making sure everyone is really committed to the SCA basketball program. Yeah.
So, and Marley, can't leave you out. Marley, what do you got to tell them? Because your sister's already come through and now you're coming through. What do you got to tell them?
I think the division change is good as well because it's a chance to like for the girls to like grow in their confidence and like I think they already started practicing in the summer and like I think just growing in the summer and growing their confidence all the way throughout the summer will really help them like start to like build their self-esteem and stuff in order to play better.
Okay. And Cece, we're going to go to you because you're the one that's playing the most sports here. What's been the most difficult part? Because, you know, me, the AD, sit up and talk to, you know, the hierarchy at the schools. And it's just, I know my personal belief and those that are listening, I believe the kids should play as much as they want. But as you get older, especially in terms of a female athlete, I believe it's only right to start to slow down and choose one, maybe two. Dee Dee, you did a hell of a job of having basketball, then jumping over to dance. So you're like, hey, I'm not going to play the sport, but I'm going to go into another area. So Cece, you playing three. What's been the most difficult thing that if I've got an incoming freshman or another athlete coming up that wants to do the same thing, what's the hardest thing about that to try to balance all that?
Well, I think that maybe people shouldn't play all three sports because like it's good to just stick with one. Personally, I just wanted to try all three and I liked all of them. But I mean, you just really have to be willing to like put in extra work to like do homework and things because like with each season, the times change for like when I get home. Like at basketball, I'll get home later than I do for lacrosse. But just like making sure that you keep putting in the work to do well in school and in your sport.
And Mia, you sitting there in terms of, you know, you got the basketball and you're playing, then you decided to jump over and play softball this year, you know, and then we're talking about homework. You know, if anybody listening to the sound of my voice and y'all want a road dog, go get Mia. I'm telling you, 2 years, no missed practices, no call outs, no excuses, flat out. I could wake up in my sleep and I know she's one person going to show up at the gym when I show up, and it's been phenomenal. You know, that how have you been able to balance that in terms of the academics with the sports and then go on and try a new sport this spring?
Yeah, I think it's really just about commitment and just like making sure your priorities are straight. So for me, basketball during basketball season was like my top priority. And so at senior year, when I did finish basketball, it was kind of like the end of my basketball career. And so that's why I played softball. If I did have another year after that, I wouldn't have played softball. I would have continued playing basketball in the spring. So that's why I played softball. But I would say it's just making sure during the basketball season, starting in the fall and even in the summer too, if you play leagues, that you just make sure if basketball is your sport, you're putting the most effort into that. Yes.
Yeah, and for those that's listening tonight don't know, I've actually been crying inside because I am losing the Twin Towers. I have had the two tallest players in the conference. I think Mia's 6'4" and Dee 6'5". So, of course, I gave them some extra inches when they asked me to. But, Dee was like, Coach Tony, I'm not this tall. And Mia was like, neither am I. I said, well, for the books you are, and my purposes you are. So I thought that was absolutely excellent. And Dee, being that you chose to do a little something with dance and all that, what were the obstacles that you saw trying to be a multi-sport person that decided to say, something, it's my junior, senior year, I want to go ahead and do this, and I started instructing dance. What were some of the obstacles that you saw that made you make that decision?
There were definitely some schedule clashes like along the way that affected like when I'd be able to come into practice, which I didn't particularly like, and it made it hard for me to like fully know some of the plays sometimes and things of that nature. So it really just came down to putting in extra time and meeting with my other teammates and making sure I had the right knowledge for all the stuff that I needed that were basketball related.
That means, Mia, you were giving her a lot of cheat sheets. So,
Thank
and
you, Mia.
Caitlin's checking in saying, don't worry about it, Coach Tony. I'm going to grow 4 more inches. Caitlin, you grow 4 more inches, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be all world. Oh, what about you? What were some of the obstacles that you had? Because I know once you changed over, what I like about you is once you change over from one sport to the next sport, you committed with it and all that. So did you have any obstacles? Because I know you're still keeping up and maintaining that high GPA as well. You, Marla.
Sorry, I didn't know if you said my name. So I play volleyball, softball, and basketball. So I think it's a good thing to like switch from sport to sport, because I feel like if you're kind of stuck on one sport, it can get really hard to like keep your head in it. And like, I don't know, it helps sometimes to like do different workouts and different things to keep your body in shape. So I think that playing 3 sports I played all 4 years. So I think that helps, I don't know, keep your body in shape in like different ways. And I don't know, just keeps your like positive mindset going as well. Cause I think it can be hard to stay positive when like you just keep trying to work at something. Like sometimes you need a break and things like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's good. And thank you guys, man. Mia, I had a blast from the party last week to kick me off at another party. And then this weekend, Dalton, man, meeting the Gramps and your cousins and all that. I had got a big hug from Gramps and your mom and dad laying out everything. Mom and dad introduced me. I had absolutely a blast. But that golf course, I couldn't stop looking at it. That's just like, man, I don't want to get out there. So dad told me about how well you're playing. If you had to do it all over again, because golf is a little different game than basketball, both are mental, and both you kind of putting the ball into a basket, so to speak, but the golf is a club, and that you're on that golf course by yourself. So if you make a shank in the bushes or hit a bad shot or something like that, you can't blame Mia and Dee and Cece and Marla because they're not there. So to balance coming out of the basketball, actually you're in reverse. You're playing golf first and then coming into basketball season. What's in your mind that you have to change so that you know that you're going to have to come into basketball, focus to have a good season after coming off the golf course?
I think definitely something I take with me in both sports is definitely self-accountability. As you were talking about, if you hit a bad shot in golf, like it is you can only blame yourself for that. Like you could blame the course, you could blame its conditions, but in reality, it's really you're the person who controls what's happening. But I think that I also am able to take that same mindset onto the basketball court. And I think that that's a big thing, is holding yourself accountable for really pushing yourself and your teammates. And I think that you can't ask more from your teammates if you're not requiring more from yourself. And so I think it's a really important thing to be really I always push myself to the highest in golf. And then I'm able to take that same mindset into basketball. And I think that once you're really pushing yourself to your highest capacity, hopefully others will continue to do the same, which I think is a really important skill to have.
And tell them what awards you just got in golf the last couple of years.
So my junior year, I was 3rd in the state, which was very exciting. This year was a bit more of a competitive year, but we still had a great year. So it was good.
Hey, that's all. And my boy Joe, I know you listening tonight. So whenever you want to get somebody, I'm grabbing Dalton with me, and she's definitely out driving and I'll play you. I can tell you that. Hey, listen, we're going to go in the locker room, and they probably already know what I'm going to tell them right now in the locker room for my halftime speech. But we'll be right back to the third quarter on the Pull Up Podcast show. Val, go pay some more bills. We'll be right back.
I've always thought about how my mom has supported me in any creative endeavor. How beautiful was it for your mom to be the superhero in your life and show up in your creative ventures with this book?
People ask her to sign the book more than they ask me to sign the book. Sometimes I step to the side, I take their picture. And, we have to celebrate our mothers. We got to celebrate our beginning. So she comes out with me. Every event, she is there. Even when I tell her she does not need to come, she will show up in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, okay, you coming? Okay. I'm like, all right.
Right. And she got a bottle of wine in her hand.
What in the world? Why are you giving her alcohol? Don't.
No, I'm just saying. She's showing up in the parking lot. She got a bottle of wine, nice wine. She's going to set it down. She's ready for the show, Val. You know what I'm saying? Because the funny part about it is, CJ, I've actually talked to Val. I thought about, writing a book myself called My Man's in Them.
I love it.
And look at Val.
My man's in them.
My man's in them. But you got to read the book. You got to read the book. But it's a play. CJ, I apologize because Val should have dropped some old Dub C so you could have came out crip walking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not flamed up right now. I got to hold on. Trying to get me shot.
Going back to school tomorrow, like, I saw you, Miss Charles. I saw you.
I mean, I can crip walk, so please, but I'm kind of, authoring right now. You guys are funny.
Man, welcome back to the third quarter with your guy, the one and only Coach Tony. And this is the Magnificent Five hanging out with me, as we say, pull up. They all pulled up on me tonight on the Pull Up Podcast show. Now, here's a trick question, because someone's already said it. And Didi, we're going to start with you first. What does the motto mean to you? Because you told everybody the motto that we were sitting up. It was so great, by the way, before I have you answer, for everybody that's listening. Let me tell you how important this is. We got to practice this week with the underclassmen. And you know what they said to me? Coach, what's the motto this year? That was phenomenal, because I said, wow, I've only been working this for 2 years trying to get this motto going. And you guys were really the first group. And I got to send a huge shout out to my girl, Grayson Mondale and Stella Graziano. What's going on? Both UT and UT ex-graduates from SCA. And they keep in touch with me all the time. So I got to say hello, Stella, Grayson. You guys continue to knock it out the park. Didi, tell me, what does no letdown mean to you?
I think the phrase "no let down" really just embodies like persistence and perseverance. And you would always say to us, like, keep your head up. Like, if we ran like a bad play, we took a bad shot, like we missed a layup. Basketball, it keeps going. You don't really have time to get down on yourself. So it's all about keeping your head up and staying motivated, keeping a positive attitude, and really just trying over and over again until you achieve all that you want to, until you achieve your goals.
Oh, great. Just going around the band. Dalton, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, what Didi's just put it perfectly. I think definitely just continuing and pushing past all the obstacles you're going to face. Like, I think when you lose the ball, on the other side, it's not till you got to like sprint back as hard as you can to get it back, or just like taking charge even when you mess up and coming back stronger from it. That's how I see it. So really just perseverance is how I see it for sure.
And Mia, you took the brunt of pretty much a lot of us. For those, she's had a black eye, she's had some cut legs, a couple elbows in the ribs. Of course, she gave some back out because I wanted her to play stronger, tougher. And I think the transition from your junior to senior year, oh my God, I told mom and dad, I wish I'd have had you like I got Mary Eva, because she's going to be a beast when I get finished with her. And, but I wish I had you those three. You know, what did that, because you embodied the no letdown. When I say that wholeheartedly, you embodied that. So what did that mean to you?
I think honestly, it had a lot to do about like the team itself. So just not only playing for yourself, but playing for your team, because it is a team sport. And even though I like worked hard myself on like personal things I could do, when I was out on that court, it wasn't just about me. It was about those 4 other girls on the court and like how I could do my best to help them and uplift our team as a whole. So I feel like it for me more of was like a team thing.
Okay, and Marla, you, because I remember when Marla comes in, the first thing I tell her first day, all right, Marla, you're shooting a freaking ball. Like, what are you doing? She had to get her feet underneath because she had so much volleyball in her. So for you, what did no letdown mean to you?
Kind of like Mia said, I think it's more of like a team thing. Like, another thing we would say a lot, I remember you guys saying in the, I was about to say dugout. No. You know what I'm saying? Halftime, yeah. But I would say like not just playing hard for yourself, but for your teammates, kind of like what Mia said, because I mean, being with like a small school and a small team, like we all really rely on each other, especially like with the hard games and like just playing hard, like it's a rough sport and like you need to lean on your teammates or else like the plays and everything like that you've built up the whole season will just like crumble if you don't like rely on each other. So I think it's more of a team thing too.
And I want to add one thing to what Marla is saying for some of you guys who listening that don't know. We're at a small school. If you guys correct me, roughly about 280 students. How many girls did you guys graduate with?
We graduated with 47.
47. That was like one of my classes in Chicago. I graduated with 1550. I was telling Mia that the other day, which is incredible, you know, and all that. But the no letdown embodied me to this person here. Cece comes up to me again, beginning of the season, to make sure that I correct who she was. And I said, hey, you know something, Cece? I got you. She's got probably one of the best looking basketball forms on the team. So I'm thinking, okay, God, cool. I got the shooter. I got good. And then she just gets her and just kind of cools down the court like, hey, you know, I thought she was going to, you know, make a basket and start breakdancing or something. So it was great to see when you finally got on. And I was on Cece for those listening a lot. And Cece was looking at me like, Coach, I'm doing my best. But to knock down that first 3-pointer, how did that make you feel? And how did that embody the no letdown theory?
Well, it was pretty fun because, yeah, I don't think I'd ever made a 3-pointer in a game before this year. And it's something that I worked on a lot, just making the 3-point shot. So it was fun to get a chance to do it in a game. And for no letdown, I mean, I think it's just about keeping yourself accountable so you don't obviously let your team down. And it puts like a pressure on yourself to like work harder. So, yeah.
Okay. And Mia, I love you because you took Coach Tony's quotes. So throw me some funnies out there.
Oh gosh.
Matter of fact, each of you guys think about that and give me a different one. But Mia, start this out. What's your Coach Tony's quote that you love?
I think my favorite is Shine Bright Like a Diamond. That was a good one. Just because it's a good song too. So I like that one just because it was like, you got to find the potential in yourself and like show it on the court. So Shine Bright Like a Diamond is definitely my favorite quote.
And Mallory, thanks for checking in. Mal's on the line checking in and saying, what's up, Marla? And what I like about, for those that don't know, when I didn't have the music, trust me, Mia's walking around the gym with her phone in her hand trying to get some music on. So that was it. Dalton, what was your Coach Tony quote that was a funny?
I don't know that I have a funny one, but I just remember our motto the year before was family, and that was a very good thing to carry with us. For like a funny story, I remember you always telling us about how you were chased by a dog and you were like running like crazy. That is something that plays in my head always.
Oh, hey, and that was a track team to me, and had to get over the gate. So Didi, what about you? What's your funny story of the season?
Well, I just remembered this was like on the board for the majority of the year, but it said it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but it's about the size of the fight in the dog. That's a personal
That's right.
favorite.
That's right. I love that because no matter, I can make a poodle bite you, and I can make a pit bull come and lick you. You know what I mean? Just depending on what the dog is. But if something happens, you got to be ready. So, Marla, what about you?
I can't remember the time. I think it was when me and Cece were like being slow or something, and you were saying how Cece was in the corner eating a blow pop, and I was in the other corner like, what was it? A Twinkie. And I just thought that was really funny because it was just kind of like, just I would not expect you to say that at all, but it makes total sense because we were just probably being lazy in the moment. But
Oh man, and Cece, you already know me. I mean, what's your favorite?
Gotta give it a shout out to Cece's Pizza. Coach Tony liked to call me slow and said I was eating too much. So Cece's Pizza was a good one, except who got the 4 laps in? Me and not Coach Tony. So let's just put that on.
Exactly. And I love that because I was like, Cece, and actually the reason why I gave you that because Cece's Pizza on deliveries, and if you don't get your pizza quick, you get a free pizza. So I'm like, hey, you got to get faster. But it was good, and I loved it. You know, the funny part about from me to you guys was, of course, the time that Mia actually ran down the court and tripped over the line. That was classic. That was classic. And Marla shot an air ball that went over the goal. That was classic. And all that. But I mean, it's absolutely wonderful because you guys gave me so many moments, and it was crazy because I got 5 of you. And to graduate, 5 of you is going to like, I don't know how I'm going to turn around and rebuild and be able to do that. But how did basically the season mold you guys for your senior year and get you ready to move on to your next adventure, which is college? Let's start with Mia.
I would say basketball taught me a lot about like hard work. Like to see the results, you have to put in the work, and I think that will be helpful for the future for college. Like you have to study in order to get good grades. So I think that, and also just like teamwork, because in college you might get put in like a group project or like you have to take on a leadership role. So I think that like being a captain for basketball has really helped me, and like being able to communicate with those on the team. And yeah.
And Dalton, you're my secondary captain. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think especially senior year, basketball definitely kept us on a really straight path, because senior year, it's very easy to get distracted, and it's very easy to, like, once you're in a college and you're committed, it's definitely hard to keep giving your 100% to everything that you do. But I think that basketball really requires you to give all that you have to the sport. And so I think it teaches a lesson as we transition into our next school and college. I think it teaches us to find the things that are going to make sure that we stay active, we stay motivated, and we stay present and doing everything that we need to do, whether it's for school, whether it's for a leadership position, for anything that we do. So I think it's good to find those outlets like basketball.
And people don't know, this girl is so freaking talented. I'm so mad. I just told Coach, first of all, I'm about to have you, put you on the spot, maybe have you bowl something out here. But she sings our national anthem before each home game, which is amazing. I just told your mom and dad the other day that if he doesn't figure something out, I'm going to put on some Whitney Houston, because I got, I don't know how I'm going to get another national anthem. And then, for you guys, I come to school on Ash Wednesday and see you up there jamming on stage. I'm like, what? Oh my God. That just really so the talent that these young women have and what St. Cecilia Academy gives you the ability to do on the music side and everything, I think is absolutely phenomenal, and everything. Cece, how does basketball help you prepare and be ready for this next role you're about to jump on?
I think just perseverance, and even when things are hard, just to keep going and push yourself. I think it's going to be important next year, because it's just going to be a big adjustment, like living by ourselves and in a new city. So yeah.
And Marla, what do you think? Because you're not going to be by yourself. You're going to join your sister. So
I was gonna say responsibility because basketball is a really long, hard season, especially in the winter, and like just making sure like you know how to communicate with your coaches, making sure you make it to all the practices, bond with the underclassmen. So just I think responsibility really shaped me.
Awesome. Dee, what are you thinking about that, girl? But you better get back to the West Coast.
Yeah, I think basketball just taught me a lot of about myself and how to keep myself accountable. And also I think like a lot of the values that I use in basketball, like perseverance and persistence, translates a lot into my academic life as well. So I think I will definitely carry a lot of what I learned in basketball to my college experience.
Man, that's awesome. You guys make my little granddaughter say what's up to Skylar. She's a big fan of you guys, watches this show all the time. Always got her pictures. I always have to say hello because if not, she reminds me, Papa, you didn't say hello to me. So I got to make sure I pull it out. And the 2-year-old, she's getting there. So I can't wait for them to start playing. But SCA is a school, and especially the way that the 5 of you have made it would be awesome to have my granddaughter in a situation like that. Let's take our last time out of the day. We're going to come back. I'm going to have Val throw a lot of pictures up in this fourth quarter. But you know me, girls, we got to win this game. So let's go back in and talk before we come out in the fourth quarter. Val, in my last bill of the day, get these collections out of my pocket. We'll be right back on the Pull Up Podcast show.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the KeySpot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. KeySpot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. KeySpot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
Man, welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Pull Up Podcast show. Mr. Cox checking in said, congratulations, girls. What's up? Sandra Holmes is checking in exactly as well, saying, hello, girls. How you doing? So I'm doing a phenomenal job. She's excited about the future, and so am I. So here's the question. Let's change everything over mentally. Let's talk about the career path. Let's talk about the college. We're going to start off with these young ladies that are staying in the state first. Marla, let's talk about, give everybody where you're going next year, and let's talk a little bit about your career path and why you chose it.
Okay, I'm going to Pellissippi State, so it's in Knoxville, and I'm majoring in biology, and I'm hoping to go pre-med with that, so I'm hoping to be a family practice doctor, just like my dad, but I'm not sure yet. I still need to, intern with some people and, figure things out, but that's where my plan's going right now.
Okay. Cece, what about you?
I'm going to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and right now I'm majoring in biology, but I hope to switch into nursing next year and maybe in the future work in the ER. So.
Oh, man, that's good. And Coach Vickers checking in tonight, my main man, track coach. He said, man, you guys are doing an awesome job. Loves it. Man, the coach is great. He's just mad. He just wish all 5 of y'all would have ran track too. So, but we're going to get him some people in here. Mia, you're heading the same direction. Let's talk to you a little bit about where you're heading and what your plans are.
Yes, I'm also going to Tennessee, and I got into the nursing program. So that's what my plan is right now, is to go into nursing. Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, man, that's awesome. And Didi, you going back to the west side, out to the west coast. You going from L.A. up to the coast. I'm going to come out there. I'm just telling you because, the best story I've got, got an opportunity to get out. My boy Johnny Dawkins was coaching. For those that don't know, you'll see his name. Coach Tara Vanderveer was out at Stanford. Absolutely phenomenal campus. Couldn't believe the history behind it, that when the school came about, that it was thought about putting for those that have never seen it, there's a volleyball sand pit and a basketball court at every single dorm, because he always thought the students need to get some type of athletic life. Why did you choose Stanford to go to Palo Alto? Because I had you going back home with me to the side. I think it is either too much snow or you wanted a little more sunlight. What is it?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of both. I mean, I was born in Los Angeles. I have both sides of my family there, so I've always wanted to come back to California, and I do like the sun. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the snow. So yeah.
Yeah. So why not USC or UCLA?
Well, my family is in Northern California, so that was always kind of the goal to like be around my family. Um, so yeah.
So you want to get back to the Bay. So don't let me talk to you and you end up being a Golden State fan because I'm gonna ride you on that. So what's your career path and what do you plan to do with it?
So right now I plan to go into neurosurgery. My major's in neuroscience. So yeah, that's the plan.
That's awesome. And this young lady, Dalton Vaughn, oh my goodness. I didn't wear that Notre Dame hat today, as you obviously see, but I should have had, I do have my Buckeye shorts on, I can tell you that. You know me. But, funny story, everybody. So Dalton and I are making a personal bet. We're coming up on, end of the season, senior night. Dad Charlie comes out. I said, well, Dalton, here's the plan. I know you're heading to Notre Dame, but this is the national championship game. So if you lose this national championship game, obviously football we're talking about, you have to wear my Buckeyes mock neck on senior night. And if not, I got the Notre Dame hat the entire night. Obviously to say she wore the Buckeye gear out on the floor. And Pops was looking like, what the heck is going on? It was the funniest thing ever, best story of all my teams, and I loved it. But me and Mom talked about it. I was so glad you honored a bet that you lost. Love you forever. Tell everybody where you're headed and why.
Yes, so I'm headed to Notre Dame next year. Go Irish. And I'll be studying political science on the pre-law track. And so my older sister is actually going to be a sophomore there, so we'll be there together for 3 years. But it's just a great campus, a great community, and I'm very excited.
Have I ever told you this? I also was a political science major. Never told you that.
Great.
That's incredible. So that means I need to read a few papers and do a couple of things I want to check in. So career paths, absolutely love it. So as you guys can see, this is why I named them my Magnificent Five, that these 5 young women will be doing phenomenal things in the near future. And trust me, the weddings, the children, the everything, I better be getting phone calls and I'm going to be checking up on you. Trust, ask Stella and ask Grace, and I check up on my girls all the time. So I'll definitely be doing that. And thank you, Dalton. See also Mia and Dee Dee and CC and Marl. Before you get out of here, Dalton's planning to work the camp this year. So I'll be expecting you guys to show up at least a day to give the younger kids some good advice. So before we get out of here, who's the best coach and why? Let's go, CC. I really want to hear from you off the top. Come on. I gave you the most everything.
I got to go with Coach Tony Thompson. Every day is interesting and fun. And you make practice fun. Get to talk about some movies. And
there you go. Hey, and for those that don't know, and Josh, I don't know if you even know, if I ever get into a trivia game, especially about back in the day, CC is my ride or die. Let them know the one special movie in your grandpa that you told me about, because everyone would know that.
The Ernest movies.
Right. What's up, Vern?
Nothing much.
Got the money, babe. Marla, and you, what you like about being coached by Coach T?
I loved Coach T. Like Cece said, every single day was fun. I feel like he got to know like each player on a different, like on a deeper level, and like he knew how to joke with each of us. Like he knew what was going on in our lives and like knew how to talk to us. So he's a great guy.
Man, I was glad that you guys allowed me to get in. Dee Dee, I stayed on your back. I remember you came back singing, like, you don't know what you're going to do. I'm like, I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to finish this thing here and play. I know. If not, I'm going to be at your house every day ringing the doorbell, picking you up. So what did you like about, being under my tutelage and having me coach?
Definitely, I agree with what Marla said. You just brought like a positive energy to basketball that we had not necessarily like all had in the past, and it made basketball enjoyable. You knew us on a personal level. You knew what was going on in our lives, and you cared. And you gave us life skills that we can like bring outside of basketball, and you just kept us motivated throughout the whole year. You gave us like the little sisters, the underclassmen to like mentor, which helped us to grow in our leadership. So we're all just super grateful to have had you as a coach, and I'm sure we'll bring all of what you taught us in basketball to our professional lives as well. So
You
we're
know,
really
and I
grateful.
think that is wonderful because that is something that you guys can, toot your hat on. I started that with your class. So moving forward, you can always say, hey, we were the first class that did that. I thought it was phenomenal because I looked at what I had with the five of you guys, and then I looked at the next gap. I'm like, wait a minute. No wonder these guys, besides Dalton roughing people up, all right, now, freshmen, shut up. Like I thought, hey, okay, take it over, Dalton. Do what you got to do. But they fell in line. Or when one of the freshmen was stepping out of line, and Mills like, you need to be paying attention because I hate it when you get started and then they don't know what they're doing. So it was phenomenal. And Dalton, so, I stayed on you early on, but I remember you telling me one thing you may not ever remember. I was on you one day, and I think it was between last year and this year, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry for being so hard on you, but I know how good you can be. And you told me out of your mouth, that's okay, because you're harder on me than any coach I've had, and you make me play better and all that. It just made me feel wonderful because I know the stuff that I was working and teaching you guys, you got it. So what did you like about being one of my players?
I mean, there was never a dull moment with Coach Tony on the court. I mean, he was always keeping us entertained, and he was really always just showing up for us. And I think that when someone really shows up for you 100%, it's a lot easier to show up for them. And so he just really made us want to be a part of the program and be a part of his team. And I think when you have someone who's as great as Coach Tony, you want to be better for him, and you want to be better because he's putting in so much work for you. So you want to reciprocate that. And I just think that the energy that he brought really just contributed to a positive season. And I'm forever grateful for it as well.
Man, I appreciate that. And Mia, I keep you for last because you're going to kind of be the extension that Marla had. I get the baby girl, the little sister, and all that is getting ready to come through. And, I'm going to probably be hard on her because this is where I want it for you. I'm hoping that she gets to be your height, and if not taller than you, which is going to be awesome. But what did you love? Because, let me start by saying this. When I first got Mia last year, I'm like, oh, my God, I didn't know if I'm going to be able to talk to this girl or not, because I looked at her, she looked at me like I had two heads. And then by mid-season, she really warmed up. And I was like, oh, she is actually a beautiful person. But then you came back this year, and it was like awesome. You were like right in, committed, and you were like one of my best friends, I got to tell you. I look forward to seeing you at practice. We laugh, we joke. I got to know Mom and Dad. And it was great because Mom allowed us to use her classroom every single day. Of course, I called Cece going to sleep on a couple film sessions, but I never said nothing, but, and her and Marlo sit back there and get notes, and then she'd come out. But now that you're going through the program, Mia, what did you like about playing for me? And what advice can you give Mary Eva right now as she gets ready to come through the program?
Yes, you're my best friend, Coach Chi, too. I would say, the main thing is just, that you showed us this year was just your dedication to the team. You'd stay up, you said, to 3 a.m. Watching film and making sure we were ready for the games. And I don't think I've ever had a coach care that much about the game and that much about us getting better. So I think that was you had a really big impact on me, just personally showing how much you put into our team. So I think your dedication. And then for Mary Eva, who's in the chat, I would tell her, it's a long season, so you just have to stay committed, make sure basketball is a priority during that time, and just have fun, make friends on the team because your friends are what make it the most enjoyable thing, and just make sure you have that love of basketball and work hard.
Man, the one thing I'm going to leave you guys with is I've always been known as a player's coach, and I want to give my hats off to my sidekicks, Coach Kiana Briscoe. Kiana's played for me at Ball State and went on and called me to come back. And then Coach Natalie Kelly. Natalie's sitting up here, a veteran in the game, on the Wall of Fame at school. Without Natalie, without Kiana, especially Natalie, reaching out, making sure you guys got proper emails, getting to practice and sending out messages and let me know. I take my hats off. I can do what I got to do, but without those two coaches on my side helping us be the team that we were this year, none of this would be possible. And I also want to thank each and every one of you guys' parents, because I can tell you, and you guys can write and take this to the bank, everyone that I've got on this podcast, I never in 2 years heard one thing from your parents in terms of a complaint. I want to say that again. Never heard one complaint from your parents. They all wanted to help out. And you don't know how much that means to a coach and a coaching staff. And if I could have a redundancy of the parents that I've got, because my freshman class coming up, my parents love me. So I think that's going to be a huge, huge group. But thank you guys very much. And as you move on, anything that you need from me, I'm just a quick text or a quick phone call away, and I got you. And by the way, if you guys get down and get stuck on what to do while you're on that campus, just call Mia. She's got Coach Tony quotes right there in her hand. She's got them readily available. So, hey, listen, we're going to get out of here. Does anyone have anything last minute to say real quick before we get out?
Yeah, again, I just wanted to reiterate how grateful we all are to have had you as a coach. And we're excited to move on to college, but we're going to take what we learned from basketball with us forever. So thank you so much.
Yeah, yes, Marla, you ready to say something?
We're gonna miss you.
Man, trying to hold it back. What's up, Dalton? Yeah, Mia.
Just thank you for everything. We're gonna miss you next year. It was just the best 2 years, so we're looking forward to coming back and watching the team play.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be on you because I'll be riding up with mom and dad to some games. You ain't even got to sweat that. That's we yeah. Hey, Mia.
I was going to say thank you for having us on the podcast, and also just can't wait to visit next year and watch them play and see our freshman partners, our buddies play. And then also maybe we'll see you in Knoxville if you come up and visit.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that. And Cece, last but not least, give me something, girl.
I just have a little Coach Tony story to share. When Dalton and Marla and I were at the diocesan conference for student athletes, Coach Tony came all the way out there to support us, and he made us feel so loved. And we're just going to miss you a lot, Coach Tony. And thanks for having us on the pod.
Man, thank you. The podcast is getting bigger. I appreciate you guys. And that is actually one of my wonderful moments. I talked about you guys like for a week or two about that. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cece, I love you guys. You, Marla, and Mia heading east. That's a quick ride down 40. Didi, I'm going to be mad because I got to jump on a plane to come hang out with you. But we're going to make it happen because I do love San Fran and I like getting up in the Bay Area. And Dalton, we're going to not ever stop talking trash. So I won't be on you whenever it's right. Thank you guys very much. Don't go nowhere. Hold tight. This has been great. This is my company right here. For those that want to understand about the NIL process and unleashing your potential, please reach out to www.therizenil.com so that I can work with you in brands, and we can also make sure we come together and make it happen. Also, my girl, Val the Voice, which happens to be my producer engineer in the backside of the house. That's her QR code. She wrote a book called The DJ Saved Her Life. Talks a little bit about being a DJ and then moving into the podcast world. For those that want to read it, make sure you check out the QR code. And coming tomorrow, we have on the entertainment side of the house, we call it Interludes Talk on Tuesday, where Val and I, myself, talk about different things from entertainment in the music industry. So please, if you're not doing anything, same time, same back channel, check in with us. And next week, stay tuned. I'll let you know what's coming up. But guys, before we get out of here, put your 2 fingers up. That's how we do. We're going to say peace.
Peace.
Hi. I
It's the
can't.
Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the boys and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the boys and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up.